If you want to win NRL Fantasy, you have to make some crazy, crazy choices. Here are my 5 for this week. Welcome back. I'm Longy here from the Casual Athlete, previous fantasy champ, current rank 250. So I'm doing all right. But these are my 5 crazy picks for round 15. Let me know what you think below. First one here, Jaden Campbell. So you want to take a gamble, right? You want a guy who's got some big upside. This kid has it in spades. So Jaden Campbell came back last week, big loss against the Bunnies, but still produced 57 fantasy points. There are a few plays in that game where they could have turned out for more points as well. He created quite a few line breaks. They weren't converted to tries, but I look at that score and I think that could have been 80 points on a different day if things came together in a nicer way for him. So at 519K, the 44 average is probably unders for what he can produce. He's playing at number 6 right now, but he's wing fullback eligible. I like this option a lot, and the buy schedule for the Titans is fantastic. So go get Jaden Campbell if you want that upside. I like this option quite a bit. Next one here. This is crazy. So C plus should tell you a bit here. We got C for Talakai. When he's playing in the back row and playing big minutes in the back row, he is an unstoppable force, right? So that's the first thing here. When he gets that opportunity, he's a beast for fantasy. The downside here is that the opportunity isn't coming often, right? So Teague Wilton, he had an AC joint issue. He's probably going to be back pretty soon. So Talakai, as much as I love this option, he's not an option for Classic unless you want to really roll the dice and hope for another injury or something like that. But he's more an option for your draft league. So you could stash him. You can play him this week. You can see what happens going forward. But he is that backup option for both the edge back row spots and also for the entire back line pretty much. So if there are any issues at all with Cronulla, he's going to be the guy that sneaks in. If you bought him this week, you could get very lucky on this guy because he is a big fantasy producer and he's at a cheap price there as well. Third guy here, Jack Whiten. So a guy I bought last week. He was pretty dicey last week. So 57 points, but he's on about 25 points with 20 minutes to go. He scored a try and he made a great run and a nice offload for Cody Walker to score a try as well down the stretch. Basically doubled his score in the space of 10 minutes. 412K is a low price to pay for a guy who's averaged 46 in previous years in the half spot. And he's available at center right now as well in a Bunnies team that have an awesome run of fixtures. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what, Jack Whiten, get into my team. I'm a big fan of this option. Jerry Marshall King's next up here. So Jerry Marshall King, he is at 678K. You're paying a lot more money for him. He's one of those guys you can look at. So Marshall King, Damien Cook, Reed Marnie. There's plenty of guys for this origin period. JMK is the big pod, right? So he's got a great buy schedule, plays round 16 and round 19. Only has the buy in round 18. The 49.8 average is pretty indicative of what he can do, but he can score some big games in there as well. The B grade reflects that. The upside isn't fully there. He's not as high upside as a Harry Grant or as a Damien Cook, for example, but I do like this option quite a bit at that price. So check out Jeremy Marshall King if you want a hooker this week. Last guy here, Big Sammy Fino and the Tigers. They're a basket case, but this guy's got a lot of talent, and you can tell he's staunch as well. Just look at this photo here. You know, the big head up. I can do that stance too, bro. But yeah, he's a stud, right? So 49 points last week. His average is climbing and climbing. The Tigers have an awesome buy schedule. You've got issues with Bateman. You've got issues with Isaiah Papali'i. You've got Twile, who's in doubt for this week. Plenty of injuries for the Tigers. You know, Galvin's out as well. But Sammy Fino seems to be that reliable option for them. And they're rewarding him with plenty of ball. He's getting plenty of work in defense as well. He's edge and middle eligible. So I think you can't really go wrong with this guy. I think he's an absolute stud. Go and get him for your fantasy side if you need that middle or edge spot covered for you this week. That is the crazy picks for this week. So let me know which one of these guys you're going to go for. My pick personally is probably Jack Whiten, I would say, the group, but I do like the upside of Jaden Campbell as well. Best of luck with your fantasy side this week. I'll see you on the next